Hello everyone, hope you are having a great day and I welcome you all to this day 1 of AWS series. Today's session is all about Introduction to Cloud Computing. So let's take a look at the agenda for this session. In this session, you will learn about what is cloud computing, how cloud computing works, and how AWS Cloud Computing model works. So that's all with the agenda. Now let's start the session. Before we begin, subscribe to Intellipaat and don't forget to press the bell icon to get more updates.
Or in another words, you can say the cloud computing terms used for the delivery of hosted services over the cloud or over the internet, right? So hosted services over the internet. So this is a very simple definition of cloud computing. Delivery of hosted services over the internet. So it explains what is a cloud computing. Cloud computing by AWS definition refers to the on-demand delivery of IT resources and application via the internet with the pay-as-you-go pricing model. So as per the pay-as-you-go pricing model, AWS charges on per hour basis. Let's say if you use resources for only 2 hours, so AWS will charge only for those 2 hours. Now this way you can control your billing amount. If the services are not required, you can stop those services anytime. You can stop those resources anytime. So we will see later how we can actually start and stop the resources, how we can control our billing amount. So guys, what is a cloud computing? The delivery of hosted services over the internet is known as cloud computing. So hosted services, I was using a term hosted services. So cloud computing is a type of internet-based computing where you can deliver IT infrastructure and software application related services. However, before arrival of cloud computing, you used to deliver software application services from your own physical environment. Therefore, we can see the two type of services here. One is hosted services and another is a cloud services. First of all, we'll talk about hosted services. In this particular technology, you configure and maintain infrastructure and software application at your own environment or at service provider premises, and access of such services to your end such services to your end user are often provided through a direct connection, and this can require internet connectivity. I'm talking about the hosted services. So if you want to simply understand what is the hosted services, let's say you have a company. In your company, you have your own data center, or you have your own infrastructure, or you can say on-prem environment. So you are offering the services from your own data center. So if you want to offer services to your client from your data center, of course, you will be using internet connectivity for that for those services. But if you're talking about the cloud services here, so cloud services in such cases, in such platforms, you do not require any physical servers. You do not require any infrastructure to run applications. So cloud computing serves you a simple way of access of servers, databases, storages, and other set of application services over the internet. It means that somebody is providing all these services and you are using those services. You are using their physical servers, you are using their data centers, you are using storages, and you're offering your services to someone else. So, or maybe you are consuming those services for your organization. So in brief, you can say hosted services over the internet is known as cloud computing. So I do not want to go into much detail benefits of cloud computing. Today, we see the number of the cloud computing platforms are available. For example, we have AWS, we have Google Cloud, MS Azure. So this way, many public cloud platforms are available. So small, medium, even the large business houses find some significant benefits to switch on cloud because of its less cost, high availability, and easy deployment of services. Remember, cloud computing is not a single piece of technology, and hence we cannot limit its benefit. But what I did, I just sorted out some benefits. I did write some benefits here like flexibility, disaster recovery, software updates, controlled capital expenditure, stop guessing capacity, data accessibility, security, competitiveness, and unlimited storage. But if you are just seeing the list of the benefits, so those could be more than this. So, but we are just starting with this. So in this coming topic, we would see different kind of cloud computing, such as software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. So almost every organization wants to use cloud computing benefits either partially or fully. And according to one survey that was conducted by a firm called the Forrester in USA, so according to them, it is estimated that by the end of this year, the cloud computing market can touch $200 billion market, right? So this is not a small figure. This is a very big figure. So in coming days, you would see the more companies are migrating their infrastructure over the cloud. They are using cloud very frequently. So day by day, when the time will pass, you will see the people are using cloud computing. Now, big player of cloud computing like Amazon, Intel, Microsoft, HP, Alien means Alibaba, are making huge investment in cloud computing. And Amazon Web Services is a public cloud computing platform, and it is based on pay-as-you-go pricing model. Right. First of all, I'm just talking about flexibility. The first benefit I'm need to explain about the flexibility. So flexibility of the cloud computing is the best for businesses where you see regular changes in resource requirement or fluctuating bandwidth of demand. According to the resources can be scaled up or scaled down. And to scale down or scale up to meet the requirement, it's a matter of few seconds or a few minutes with the cloud administrative knowledge. So this is very simple. If you have a proper knowledge about the cloud platform, you can increase number of resources, you can decrease number of resources, you can scale down or scale up number of resources. Let's say you have one machine. If one machine is not sufficient to handle the incoming load, so in a few minutes, you can increase number of the similar instances, the similar virtual machines. I'll tell you, because in AWS, we have one term generally we are using, virtual machine. Virtual machine, what is a virtual machine? I'll explain you later on. But in AWS, we call them EC2 instance or instance. Instance means the virtual machine in AWS. So in addition, AWS enables you to select the resources of your choice. For example, operating system, programming language, databases, web application platform, and other services that you require. So flexibility, what is the meaning of the flexibility? The flexibility meaning is, number one, you can increase number of resources or you can decrease number of resources as per the requirement. And you can choose any operating system. If you want, you can create a Linux server. You want Windows server, you can create. If you want a Mac server, you can create. You can work on any programming language like Java, Python, Go, so Node.js, and a number of programming languages are there. You can choose any database. We have both kind of a database here. One is SQL database, another is a NoSQL database. We have the caching services. We have web application, number of platforms. So you can choose any one of them. It's up to you, right? It's up to you what exactly you require. So this is complete. It providing basically the flexibility to choose all such things for your project, right? Next is controlled capital expenditure, or we can say reduced and controlled capital expenditure. Okay, think about an old and traditional way to run IT services. So you do require servers, you do require storages, routers, switches, cables, connector, database servers. You require some power backups. So if you want to run your traditional, if you want to run your infrastructure in a traditional way, so all such things are required, and these are very expensive. And overall cost of such infrastructure was very high, right? And to cut down the cost of existing physical infrastructure, cloud provides an excellent opportunity. You can now choose AWS services, which simply based on pay as you go pricing model, and you can enjoy the service model instead of heavy investment on hardware and software. Cloud computing provides resources on the cloud, means you can select what you need, and if you need, you can, if you don't need, you can stop those resources anytime, and you can configure them as per your need to deliver to your end user or to your client. So this is a very simple. So all money related controls you have in your hands, right? And you have not to purchase anything in advance. Second is software updates. So AWS, you must be knowing what is software updates. So guys, the first of all, software updates. What are the software updates? You must be knowing that if you're running, let's say I'm just starting with your own laptop. You have a laptop right now, okay? And you are using that laptop over the internet on a daily basis. You are using that laptop. But after a certain time, let's say after every weekend or every fortnight, you will see that some updations, so some updates are coming frequently, and your computer says to actually run those updates. So you generally update your laptop or machine time to time. And the same thing you're finding on your, even on your mobile. So in a similar fashion, now AWS is now offer a patch management capability, which is a part of system manager service. We have a system manager service in AWS. So what you can do, so with this patch management capability, you can automate your patching process. Let's say you have 100 servers running in your AWS environment, and if you want to update them, their operating systems or applications, you can easily update them with the help of system manager service in AWS. So this feature saves your time and reduce the risk of non-compliance. As you know that the time to time the supplier of the software finds vulnerabilities in their operating system or in their applications, so which can be a cause of security threat, and they want to fix them. And if you want to fix them, they are providing the patch management capability online. You have not to create any local repository for that. You have not to create any WC server. You have not to create any Linux repository server for the patch management capabilities. So it is automatically, it's a free of cost. AWS provides system manager. You can use the system manager to upgrade your machines, operating system and applications free of cost, correct? This is a good thing. Earlier, this task was very complex. So we have number of advantages. If you have experience on working with how you were working on your traditional, the physical data center in your company, you must have find out that the lot of the challenges were there in our physical data center, but those challenges now you are not getting on this cloud computing environment. So the patch management capability is automatic here. Using the system manager, you can upgrade your applications, you can upgrade your servers, right? Next is stop guessing capacity. Here, AWS is not asking, not only AWS, any public cloud platform. People are not asking you to purchase any infrastructure in advance, right? You have not to invest any money in advance. So when you decide to run an application over the cloud, you design an infrastructure as per the need, and at the time of designing, you either end up sitting on expensive resources or dealing with the limited capacity. But if you are working on a cloud computing, you don't see the challenge, because the cloud computing allows you to tune the infrastructure as per the requirement. You can define minimum and maximum capacity as well for the resources, which you can scale up or scale down in a few minutes or few seconds, correct? So you have not to purchase any infrastructure, server, resource in advance. So if it is needed, you can start those resources, you can configure those resources. If those resources are not needed, you can stop those resources, right? So, but you will pay only for the use time. So this is the good advantage. So this way you can control capital expenditures. Okay. Next is data accessibility. I was talking about the data. Data is very critical thing for any organization. Data is a very critical thing, and data could be of any type. Maybe you want to share the data over the internet. Maybe you have a team which is working and your programmers and your developers are sitting on a different location. They want to push the data at some central place. So this kind of things, if you're required, so this cloud computing platform is awesome platform, right? But one more thing, the data accessibility is very easy in cloud, cheaper and highly available for the business teams. We have the different kind of data storages we will discuss about in very details. We have object level storage, we have file system storages, we have block storages. So we have the different kind of storages. Yes, Pawan, what you're writing, what is the service of E2E networks? Can you write the full form of the E2E?
Just a quick info, guys. If you want to make a career in cloud and DevOps, then Intellipaat provides an advanced certification in cloud computing and DevOps by ENICT Academy IIT Roorkee, and it is taught by IIT Roorkee professors and industry experts. This course is designed to help you upskill and land in your dream job. Now, let's continue with the session.
You are paying for the used resources, whether it's storage or compute resources or database resources. But I'm talking about storages here. So any amount of data can be uploaded in cloud computing environment. Or let's say I'm talking about AWS. Any amount means any amount. Your data could be in GBs, it could be in TBs, it could be in PBs, right? Any amount of data can be uploaded. And we have the different type of storages. We have object level storages, we have file system storages, we have block storages. So we will see all these storages in detail. But accessibility of the data in cloud computing is easy, cheaper as compared to your physical data center. And it is by default highly available for business teams. Why I'm saying highly available? Because whatever you are uploading on such platforms, so those files or your data will be replicated on a multiple location. So if one location is failed because of any technical issue, normally it doesn't happen, even though your data is safe, right? So guys, next, right? So guys, here we go. Now I was talking about security. So security was a main concern because when the cloud was new, now the cloud is not new. People know that even the cloud also is very secure. It depends how you are configuring your servers and applications. So it depend on you, how actually you want to offer your applications to your end user. If you're using, let's say I'm giving an example. Let's say if you're using HTTP protocol, it is not secure. But if you're using instead HTTP, if you're using HTTPS, it means that is a more secure, right? Similarly, instead of even simple communication, you can use encapsulation, encryptions. So you have the multiple ways to secure your data. So data could be secure in a when it was on rest, or you can secure data while it is on transit. So in security, we can say you can access your data stored over cloud using internet connection from anywhere. Number one. Number two, the cloud computing security feature is on high priority for cloud computing providers such as AWS, Azure, GCP. So this includes protection of critical information from data leakage, deletion, as well as theft. So feature like data encryption also is available on the cloud. You can apply encryption on rest or during data transfer. So it's up to you how you are encrypting your data. So in AWS, we have a KMS service, KMS, Key Management Service. Only you must have the knowledge of cryptography. If you have the knowledge of cryptography, you can better implement encryption, right? Or encapsulation, depend what is better or suitable for your application or offerings, correct? And if you want to access your infrastructure of AWS from remote location, even you can use VPN. VPN is a virtual private network, which again provides you a kind of an encapsulated connectivity over the internet. And next, if you do not want to use internet and you want to access the infrastructure of your AWS, so for big organization, this is a little expensive, but you can use direct connect. So direct connect is not using internet connectivity directly from one end to another end. So you can access infrastructure of AWS. The combination of public and private key. Yes, yes. Well, that is a different thing. Actually, that's part of the cryptography. Okay. Next is disaster recovery. This also is a very popular term people are using, right? Disaster recovery. What is a disaster recovery? Generally, people say that if the data is stored at one place, we must have some synced data on a different place. So this kind of environment was little expensive. It was little expensive, as well as it was little complex earlier if you are using your own data centers, because you have to create a duplicate infrastructure at a different place. So it doubles the cost of your infrastructure. But disaster recovery in AWS or in any other public cloud platform is easy, because they have already very big global infrastructure. So the presence of, let's say I'm talking about AWS, the presence of AWS is you can find anywhere in the world. They're having more than 25 regions. They're having more than 81 availability zones. They're having more than 300 point of presence. All these infrastructures are internally connected through the private connectivity. It means AWS is providing their own connectivity. So what is a disaster recovery? So cloud disaster recovery basically is a kind of a method, or it's a kind of a strategy to take the backup of cloud resources, including data, and later on it can be recovered. You try to understand what is a disaster recovery. So it's basically kind of a method as well as a strategy. So you can copy the data from one place to another place, and if it is needed, you can recover your data. So you are in a safe position if you are duplicating your data or duplicating your infrastructure. So this provides data recovery and backup strategy, which is happened due to either man-made or natural catastrophe, right? So means disaster can come because of any reason, because the disaster means it could be natural, it could be man-made, it depends. But you have a disaster recovery plan. AWS provides a disaster recovery plan. Okay, so Vaibhav is asking, but if disaster happen in Mumbai region, how you will manage, right? Okay, in Mumbai, let's say you stored some data in Mumbai region, and you feel that if something happened wrong with the Mumbai location because of any reason, so what will happen to the data? So you can do one thing. You can create the similar kind of infrastructure, replicated infrastructure on a different location. You can use North Virginia, Ohio, London, Tokyo, Sydney. So whatever you are doing on one region, it is automatically replicated on another region. If something happens wrong with the Mumbai location, the similar kind of data or infrastructure is available at different location. You got my point, Weber? You have not to worry about this. Okay, guys. So guys, yes, Shiv is writing, is there a charge for this feature? Definitely. It's not a free, because if you're duplicating your data, you have to pay additional charges for the additional storage. And you're syncing the data between two locations. Let's say you have two regions. Mumbai is the first region and replicated region is the North Virginia. And if you're replicating your data, you have to pay not only for the used space, you will also pay for the data transfer rate, correct? And the charge for the recovery feature, that depends on what kind of model you have, because if you are replicating data on two different places, so I don't think you have to pay for the data recovery, because on the same way, the same kind of infrastructure you are using at your another end, and you're paying it for. Okay. Now, next is competitiveness. Now, competitiveness. So when you run a business, the product of the business is an ultimate goal for any company. So business houses needs to put all their efforts to maintain quality and production numbers of the product. For example, let's say I'm talking about a car company. So for the car company, the cars or the number of cars they are making is an ultimate goal for that car company. They want to produce more cars, right? And they want to put their efforts to create quality cars. So their concentration, their focus should not be on IT infrastructure. Their focus should be on their own product. So that's why AWS says, just focus on your product or project, and do not put heavy efforts to manage IT infrastructure. AWS says that I will manage your IT infrastructure. I will manage your IT, the backend services. You have to only the focus on your project. So this way, you are not going to manage their data centers or connectivity or networking or any other thing. So that's why people really like this the platform, because they can simply put their all focus on their businesses, right? So on cloud, you do not have you do not require heavy lifting of racks. You do not require heavy lifting of servers and other resources. So infrastructure, software, and platform are just few clicks away on the cloud, and it is easy to use for everyone, and you will have better experience and low latency resources. In brief, I can say that the cloud computing allows even smaller businesses to act faster than big and established competitors. Means anybody can start his business on the cloud. Let's say you want to start your startup and you don't have your data center. You need a big infrastructure to start your business, but you don't have such investment. You can start your business with the cloud computing. You're going to find everything on the cloud computing. And if your business increases, you can increase your infrastructure. And if the business is not good, you can shrink your infrastructure as per the budget. So on the basis of the budget you have, you can manage your infrastructure. So this is a very good opportunity for the people they want to start their business. They have some ideas, but they don't have the data center. They don't have actually the good infrastructure. So you can easily start your business over the cloud, right? So I said that the number of things are there, but messages, right? If you're writing the messages, I think each other can see the messages here. So this is a mind map, or it is telling you about AWS certification, how you can start your AWS certification, what are the prerequisites to start the certification, and what the desired knowledge to start the certification. For example, let's say the two kind of people can join this program. Anybody who's just trying to be a, the cloud professional or AWS professional. Let's say either you are an experienced guy or maybe you are a fresher. You're going to start journey from here. And if you're a fresher for AWS or for cloud computing, so these are the prerequisites that you should know to be a successful the cloud architect or AWS professional, right? Number one, the fundamental of the TCP/IP networking. You must have a little idea about what is a TCP/IP networking, like what is an open system interconnection, IPv4, IPv6, what are the protocols, port numbers, and how actually all these layers are working. Open system interconnection. So very basic level of knowledge is required. Secondly, you must have system administration knowledge on various platforms like Linux, Windows, and storage fundamentals, right? You must have understanding about the services of the server, just like DNS, Kerberos, NFS, SMTP, IIS, Apache. So what all these services are and what are the function of these services. Secondly, you must have idea about Linux operating system. And according to me, I think you already Linux. Secondly, you must have Windows operating system, administrative knowledge, and you must have the knowledge about the different kind of storages, because we have disk attached storages, network attached storages, and SAN, storage area network, right? So because we deal with the different kind of storage like the block, file system, and object level storages. So then you must have a little knowledge about the security essentials, because the security again is a very important part, and how you can find your infrastructure, your application is secured or not. You can only analyze if your fundamentals about the security are clear. So I can suggest you, so you must have attend some course like ethical hacking. So if you have, because in ethical hacking, this is a course provided by some vendor, I don't know his name, but the ethical hacking is a kind of a course where all security domains are covered. And they tell actually each and everything, what is the footprinting, encapsulation, espionage, and different kind of attacks, all such things you should know. Then only you can secure your infrastructure if you understand about the security. Secondly, you must have some understanding about the databases. I'm not saying that you must be a good database engineer, but you must have some understanding about databases. You should know about what is the SQL databases or structured databases, and what are no SQL or unstructured databases, and how all these databases are different to each other, and where, in which condition, such databases can be used. Okay, and next is, it is recommended. It is not essential, but it is recommended, right? If you don't know about the programming, no issue. You can learn at any time, but the scripting on JSON YAML, either JSON or YAML, must be clear, right? Because if you don't know the JSON, in this particular course, I'll tell you how to learn JSON and how to learn and how to use JSON to write permission, to write programs, small programs, to orchestrate your AWS environment, right? So these are some prerequisites. I think now people are writing few things. Let me tell you now, if you are a professional, let's say you say that I have all these, means I have a good idea about all these prerequisites. So the next thing is, let's say you are a professional, you are working on some cloud environment, or maybe you have some programming or infrastructure background. And so the next thing is you must have understanding about virtualization to start this course. What is a virtualization? Because in virtualization, we are using hypervisors, virtual machine, virtual storages, and how all these things are working together. So this understanding must be clear. Second, which is in very high trend these days, containerization and container orchestration tools. So generally people know that the Docker and Kubernetes, you might have heard about this. Docker is an engine to create containers, and Kubernetes is an orchestration tool to manage these containers. So how actually you can work on this? So you must have some idea about this, right? I'm not saying that you must have some certifications, but at least you must have some idea how actually you can deal with containers and orchestration tool. Now, the next is, now you choose a platform. Let's say you chose AWS, right? You chose AWS. So in AWS, these all are the certification. Let's say you start your journey with AWS Solution Architects. In this, we have two level of certification. One is associate level certification. Another is a professional level of certification. Professional level of certification is a little complex, and it does require some experience as well, right? So you can start your journey with AWS Solution Architect Associate. This is a mandatory certification if you're entering in AWS. Now we have for advanced networking, if you are choosing networking field as a in your profession, then you can just go for advanced networking. We have a certification in AWS advanced networking, and then the database specialty. Then we have security specialty. We have DevOps professional course also. Let's say you want to become a programmer, you want to become a DevOps in AWS. So we have further two certifications in that, AWS DevOps associate level as well as the professional level of certification we have. And lastly, we have artificial intelligence and machine learning specialty certification in this. So once you do these certification, you can just go for these job roles. Let's say you completed AWS Solution Architect Associate level, you can just go for Cloud Architect Expert. For after networking, you can apply for Senior Cloud Network Engineer. Then, so all these are basically the job roles. So once you complete AWS, so we recommend, I especially myself, because this is my experience, because I have more than 20 years of experience in this field, I'm providing consultancy. So the only AWS is not sufficient to work in this industry. You must have some knowledge about, orchestration tools like Terraform. Terraform is a kind of a tool. You can manage multiple cloud environments using scripting language. So Terraform is in very high demand these days. And these days, people are not using single. Sometimes you see that the companies are using multi-cloud platforms in their infrastructure. So you must have some understanding about Azure as well as the GCP. So once you complete all these things, means you are ready for good job in a good company.
Just a quick info, guys. If you want to make a career in cloud and DevOps, then Intellipaat provides an advanced certification in cloud computing and DevOps by ENICT Academy IIT Roorkee, and it is taught by IIT Roorkee professors and industry experts. This course is designed to help you upskill and land in your dream job.
Now that we are done with the session, don't forget to subscribe to Intellipaat and press the bell icon to get the latest updates on Intellipaat.